Hey, good morning, Resolve Church family. My name is Ryan. I'm one of the pastors here at the Resolve Church, and it's my joy to be able to give our mission report this morning. It's the very first Sunday of August. I can't believe it's already August. That's so wild to me. At the very first Sunday of each month, usually, we'll have a time to kind of look back at what we've experienced as a church and to look forward to what God's going to do. We call it our mission report. And we have three aspects of it that we just briefly cover. First is the money of our church. We're an open book church. We believe that we steward our money well and we don't have anything to hide. So we're very upfront about where we're at with our money as a church. The second is mission. We would talk about mission as a church. We are a church that is on mission for God here, and Pastor Dwayne is going to really be expounding upon that for the next month, what that means, what it looks like. And third, we look at members, and we kind of have a really special thing for that this Sunday. So starting with our numbers, with the money. So here's income for July. So I just want to kind of give a brief little word about this. So June and July so far this year have been a little bit below our operating costs. And now, for any of you who might know, this is very normal. It's a normal church experience for churches during the summer because we're spending our money on vacations and fun games and toys and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of within the normal experience of a church. Now, with that, I want to give an encouragement, but I also want to give an exhortation. The first for the encouragement is you kind of got that little number there at the bottom. The year to date, our average income for the month is about $44,000. It's a little over, which actually is above our operating costs each month. So it's actually really healthy. It's really stable. If we take a look at the trajectory over the last several years of our church experience with regards to our monthly income has been pretty wild swings. We're talking like really high highs, really, really, really low lows. And so for the last several months, almost about a year straight, we've had a very stable income. Is a mark of maturity, and it's a mark of health, financial health as a church. So I just want to say thank you. Well done, good and faithful servants. And also thank you to the Lord just for his continued help in growing us to becoming a mature church. Now, with regards to the exhortation, our ministry philosophy is to be a healthy, mature, and great church. The exhortation has to do with greatness. God's generosity is not seasonal. It does not change. It does not wax and wane like the seasons do. Well, San Diego kind of is stable too, I guess. But in most parts of the world, they have these crazy things called seasons, right? God's generosity to his people is not like that. It is a constant. It is a steady generosity. He's always giving, ever giving to his people. I would like for us to be a great church that reflects this kind of generosity that is not seasonal. So the exhortation is this. Wouldn't it be great, Resolve Church, wouldn't it be great as if the month of August, not only we hit our operating costs for this month, but we exceeded it to such a degree that we are well positioned to launch into the fall, starting in September. We would be bucking the normal trends of most churches. In my opinion, that puts us as a great church. So just let that be an exhortation for us. Wouldn't it be great as if not only August was above, like at the actual operating cost, but exceeded it to where we were positioned for the fall? So thinking about that as we're coming into the very beginning of August, we have a whole month to really see the Lord do some great things in our church with regards to money. That's just one aspect of the mission report. The second is with regards to mission. And I have this little flyer here called the Reading Club. Generosity is not just with money. There's several different components to generosity. One is with our time as well. And this is connected to mission. You know, we planted a church a couple years ago that's in the greater Logan Heights area. It's called Servant Church. And they're really centered and serving an underserved and really kind of an impoverished area of the city. And on purpose, you know. And they're about this time of year, August, September, they have this thing called the Reading Club. And I just want to read this. This is from Servant Church. It's really an incredible opportunity to be generous and donate some of your time to becoming a reading coach. This is what they write. They say the children of San Diego's greater Logan Heights, which is where we planted our church, Servant Church, they're up to 6 times more likely to drop out of high school if they don't read at their appropriate grade level by 3rd grade. It's not a lot of time to get there. Additionally, many of them have never heard the good news of Jesus, but you can help. Become a reading coach at the Reading Club today and change a child's life. So what's really cool is they have just a mass amount of students that they're tutoring and reading and becoming a reading coach and reading with these students. But you read Bible stories and you read the Jesus Storybook Bible with them. I mean, the school has given just a massive amount of freedom for people to really help these kids with their reading comprehension. So not only are you serving an underserved part of the city, but you're also really actually speaking out loud the gospel to these students and are actually giving them to hear the good news of Jesus. So let me just kind of put a plug for that. We're going to have more flyers at the Connect booth. If you're interested in becoming a reading coach for some of these kids, kind of partnering with our church plant, Servant Church, then please check it out at the Connect booth. We got flyers for that. And lastly, we have a little video that I'd like to kind of set up briefly. We're embarking on a project called Resolved Stories, where we're collecting stories from people in our church and putting them on video for us to be encouraged by and inspired by with what the Lord is doing, because he's doing amazing and wonderful work in our church and through our church. And so this video that we're going to see is a few different members of our church sharing their story about how they've been challenged and grown in their own generosity.
Are we talking full body here? Or is this full body?
Oh.
Oh my.
When you give.
You gotta keep it together.
Hi, I'm Jeff Stemple,
And I'm Shelby Stemple.
and we're members of the Resolve Church.
I'm Tyler Sanborn.
And I'm Sadie Sanborn.
We are both members of the Resolve Church.
Hi, I'm Jen,
I'm JC.
and we have been members of the Resolve for 8 years.
God, thank you for the food, thank you for friends, for the church, and allowing us.
So the 90-day generosity challenge has really given us an opportunity and some time to think about, okay, we've maybe been on the Connect team for a little while, but what more can we be doing to love and serve the church and the people?
Well, and the church is our family too, so we feel that we just belong there. We belong to the group and we belong to the facility, so we jump in and take care of it.
We were talking about the idea of like just a lens of looking for needs that I had the ability to fulfill, and that's kind of been a really subtle but kind of powerful shift in focus. Like you if you're really a part of a body and everyone's need is as important to you as your own needs are to you, you're naturally going to see needs that would not be that challenging for you to fulfill, but would be really substantial to the person that you're serving.
Like our gratitude and love to God for providing for our needs. And I think through the lean and really great times, we've learned contentment in that. He's proven to us that when we give back, like even if we just, there's a lot of contentment there, and knowing when you give back that you know he's just providing for you.
A couple weeks ago I was serving, and there were with the preschoolers, and some of the 4-year-old boys, as is totally normal, we're just really aggressive with each other and like throwing wooden things. And so one of them had, there'd been a lot of correction, and after church he came running back in, and I kind of just figured he didn't like me that day, which was totally fair. But he came back in and he goes, "Hey, I love you," and ran out the door. And it was so sweet. Like that, the fact that however the interaction went, it wasn't just laying down the law with him. He recognized that it was someone he wanted to go back and say, "I love ya." And that's really, really sweet. So it's kind of grown for me from like, I can do this and it would be helpful, to a genuine joy to have what is actually a lot more important, a much more important role than I originally thought.
I've definitely seen our relationship blossom a lot just in serving together as husband and wife, being able to give back to the church and connect with people and see the way that Jeff has stepped up to really help makes me love him more and just see Christ working in his heart and in his life. And it's been really good for our relationship as well. So at the end of the day, there's so much more than just serving to serve the church.
Everyone, whether you're part of the church or not, you just want to belong and you want to have a place. And I think the way that Jesus set up his church is that you feel the most like you belong when you're a part of keeping it going and when you're serving it. And there's just this inherent blessing in having a role and someone relying on you.
If you step outside your comfort zone just a little bit, maybe just say hi to people on Sunday morning, you never know what's going to happen. And you feel really good about it. You're doing it for the right reasons, promoting God's kingdom. That's what we're here to do.
I would say just dive in. Like, there's no reason to tiptoe around the fringes. You know, join a group, start giving, like commit, make friends. It's not just the money piece. That's an important piece. The church needs that piece, you know, but it's all of it. Like, what are you dabbling, tipping your toes in the water for? What's the reservation? Just do it.